Hey, looks like we already have Abigail here. Hi, Abigail. Hi, everybody. So this is the kickoff live stream for the Raventree Society month of endings. I'm sorry for the waggling. I've been kicking my poor desk. So this is the kickoff stream. I'm really, really excited. I am officially ending the Raventree Society, publishing the last book in the series on the 23rd. And then on October 3rd, the entire season, I'm sorry, brain fart, because I've been so busy today. The entire season is going to be released, and you can also pick it up for paperback at that time. So if you guys are kind of new to the concept of the Raventree Society, the Raventree Society is my horror serial. This is book 1 in the season. In the trilogy. So each season kind of works similar to like a season of television. So there are 5 different episodes in there, and I'll kind of tell you which on the back. There are 5 different episodes for each season, and then at the end of the season, I put them all together in one bind up, and you can pick up either the individual episodes for 99 cents each, or you can grab the entire bind up and read them all in one sitting and read them more like kind of like binge watching your favorite TV show. So I have finished up 4 out of the 5 episodes for the 3rd season, and on the 23rd, the 5th and final episode is out, and then on October 3rd, releasing the entire season, and then that's it for this series. So I'm really, really excited. This is my first time ending a series. And yeah, it's all been written for a while, and I've just kind of been counting down the days until it's out. So I kind of have a big celebration in mind, and that's what this kickoff is for. So I'm going to have links down below. I don't know if they're already there. I think they are. But if they're not, I'll go back and add them later. But I'm calling this the month of endings. So it's technically a little bit more than a month. It's more like a month and a half, where I'm just going to be full on celebrating, ending the series, and releasing the 5th and final episode, and then the paperback. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I have a ton of goodies and treats. So I kind of want to give you guys kind of a run through of what this is going to look like, some of the things that have been happening. The best way to be updated and to see these things beforehand is if you are on either my Discord or on my Coffee. I update my Coffee regularly. So if you're following me on Coffee, you'll see updates for what I've been doing. But if you're on my Discord, that's where I hang out. That's where all my people are. And that's where I talk about some of my plans and stuff like that. So Abigail Hayes says, I don't think any of us mind an extra long party. No, extra long parties are awesome. This is the Hobbit in me coming out. Everything needs to be celebrated to the extreme. Yeah. So anyways, so I'm going to talk about some of the exciting things that I have coming up. One of the first things is that I'm going to be doing live streams every weekend. And not all of them are going to be here on YouTube. The first one is on YouTube, and I have a few more coming up on YouTube, some Ask Me Anythings and stuff like that. But I have a live stream on Instagram coming up. I also have, I think, 2 on Facebook. So next week, I'm actually going to be attempting to bake cinnamon rolls for my Facebook live stream. So I'm excited for that. And we'll see how that works out, because my husband's office is out there. So we'll work it around. It'll be okay. But we'll figure it out so that, you guys can kind of join me while I try to bake cinnamon rolls, because that's, kind of thematic to my life, and also, it pops up in the series. So I'm excited for that. I also have giveaways running just constantly. So I'm going to introduce a few of the giveaways that I have, and we'll see what we can go through. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is I actually commissioned some scented candles for the series. So I have 2, and it looks like much more than 2, and that's because I have a whole bunch of awesome testers from one of my one of the people that I commissioned to make the candles. So I'm going to talk about both of those. The first one I have is this one here. They're both labeled the Raventree Society, but they're both different people. So kind of what happened is I had chosen one person and I talked to her and I got it figured out, but I had messaged another person beforehand and I really liked how her brand worked for the series. And so I was going to be like, no, I've already got someone. She looks really awesome, really excited about it. And I was going to just tell her no. But I was expecting these to cost a lot more than they did. So I was like, hey, why not? This is awesome. I'm going to do multiple. So the first one I have is from Get Fictional. And I'll put links down to her Etsy store and her website down below if I haven't already. And that's this one here with this beautiful raven on the front. And the scent for this one is Black Amber, Plum, Cypress, and Bayberry. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway of one of these. Abigail is laughing at me saying it's cheaper than I thought. It is. It's incredible. But I thought, hey, why not go kind of the extra mile if, I'm not paying $50 for a candle, which is awesome. It's incredible. They're incredible artisans. So yes, I love this one. It's very kind of like spicy, woodsy, kind of smells Christmassy. I think it's the cypress in there that kind of almost smells like kind of almost like a Douglas fir or something like that. So it's got a little bit of Christmassy, but it doesn't take away from kind of this deep haunting kind of feeling of like being alone in the woods. So I'm really excited about this one. And then the second person that I hired is Little Mouse Bookshelf, and she's actually going to be going live on my Instagram with me. I have some really exciting things I want to announce as far as working with Little Mouse Bookshelf in the future. So I don't want to give it all away. We're going to kind of talk about it together on Instagram during our live stream, and we're going to talk about working together, how awesome it is, and we're going to talk about some of the exciting things we have planned for the future. But I highly recommend you go check out her bookshop as well. I'll put her links down below. So she actually sent me 3 different candles. And if you've been on my Discord or my coffee, you might have already seen I kind of filmed a video unboxing. I filmed a video unboxing the other candles too, but apparently it didn't save on Instagram like I wanted it to. So whatever, I guess I don't know what I'm doing. But this is the one we chose to go with, the scent we chose to go with. And let me see if I can find the paper. Thought I had everything I needed. Aha. So here we go. These are the scents that she gave me. So this one is white with black streaks and black shimmer. So it's got this like wonderful marbling effect. And the scent is Gray Dawn and Icicles. So I'm really excited about that. She sent me some other testers too, which are really awesome. And it was very hard making a choice, but I actually had to go to a few of my critique partners and be like, yeah, help me choose. And this is what we chose. So this is just a tester, so she's going to be doing this with the same label, which just says Raventree Society, written by J.E. Prazzi and Little Mouse Bookshelf. She's going to be doing it with the same label and a black candle. So once again, if you've been on my coffee or my Discord, you've already seen pictures of those. So those are 2 of the giveaways I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do a giveaway of each of those candles. But I also have a few other giveaways. So, this here is my Raventree Society mug. It has the logo for the Raventree Society. I drew this about a year ago with pen and ink, and it's one of my favorite pieces of merch. As you can see, I actually have the shirt on as well, although it's been very well loved. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a giveaway of the mug as well. And Abigail says it's gorgeous. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be doing a mug, which I think is going to be perfect for, cold season coming up, for, mugs of hot cocoa and cider and coffee, if you're one of the people who can manage to drink that. And then I have a few other giveaways coming up. So I have here the illustrations for the covers. So this here is for season 1. This is season 2. And this is season 3. And then I also have the actual illustration. So I'm going to be making prints out of these, and I'm going to be signing them. I'm going to be doing a giveaway of prints for each of the cover illustrations. So I'm excited for those. And yeah, comment and let me know which one your favorite is. I've heard a lot of people say they like the traditional, like, haunted house one, season 3. I am actually a great lover of the season 1. Things are falling apart. This is how it works in my streams. If you guys have been on a live stream with me before, I'm giving up on that. You're lucky there's not a cat jumping on me or something like that. Abigail says she loves them all. Well, there's a way to make up your mind. Just love them all. So I have those coming up. I have a few other freebies. I don't want to give too much away mostly because I'm not sure I can get it all done, but I'm trying. But I have a few other freebies that are popping up. Some of them my Discord has already seen and helped me work through. So like I said, if you guys have been on my Discord or if you've been on my coffee, you probably have already seen this stuff and helped me work through it. I'm also finishing up the last of my character art, and the first reveal of my character art for Kyle Hansen, the main character, is going to be this Monday. So like I said, Discord has already seen it. I'll put it up on my coffee first before it goes live anywhere else, but that'll be my official release of the character art starting on Monday, and then I'm going to have, I have 6 character art pieces in total, and that's actually going to be another giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway of prints of my character art, all of those signed as well. And then I have one final giveaway, the last one, I believe it's the last one if I'm thinking correctly, and that'll be the last week of October. I'm going to be giving away a ebook copy of all 3 of the seasons. So you'll get season 1, season 2, season 3, the entire series in ebook. So that's it as far as giveaways. But like I said, there's going to be freebies. So keep an eye out for those. Just fun little things, nothing too glamorous. But you know, maybe if you've been following me on social media, you'll see things pop up like, you know, one of the episodes might go free, stuff like that. So it's one of those things that, you know, you want to get involved in the party, you want to jump in, so you'll see those things as they happen. So that's kind of an overview of what I have planned for kind of the big party. And that's, yeah, this is the big kickoff. This is the big reveal. So I'm really, really excited about that. Like I said, episode 5 releases on the 23rd. So if you've been following along episodically and reading them one episode at a time, it'll be on there. All of the Raventree Society books are on Kindle Unlimited right now. So if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, you can read them for free. And I'm actually going to be ending that after I have the final episodes on there for 3 months, give everyone a chance to read those. They're going to come off, and I'm going to put them wide. So that's your last chance. If you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, that's your last chance to read those all before they head off to the rest of the world and everyone else gets a chance to read them. So, and Abigail says she'll do her best to be there. Yes, please do. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, so that's not all I wanted to do today. I decided I was going to do a live reading. I've attempted to do live readings in the past of episode 1, which is, you know, it's 10,000 words, so it is quite a read. But I have free on my website, I have a prequel story, which you're not going to be able to see on my phone very well because technology, but it's called The Ghost on the Rooftop, and it's kind of a short prequel of the main character when he was younger, kind of a glimpse into his family life before everything kind of started falling apart for him, and kind of a show on what kind of a like naughty child he was, because one of my favorite things about this main character is he's just kind of like a troublemaker. That's probably the best way to put it, who gets in trouble. So I wrote a 3,000 word short story on that. If you go to my website, you can download that in ebook. You can also find it as a blog post, and you can also find it if you are on Wattpad at all. It's on my Wattpad, and I have links to that in a few different areas. But the best way to find it, you can actually download it as a Kindle ebook and have it for free on my website. So that's the best place to find it. If you look under extras, it should be there. If you look under the Raventree Society page, it should be there at the very bottom, listed under everything else. And I have a few other freebies on my website and extras, stuff that you can like hunt down and go on a treasure hunt, because my website is full of stuff. I kind of like making it as exciting as possible. So yeah, other than those big giveaways and stuff, I'm going to be doing on my Discord channel. If you want to join up, you can actually find that on my website under content. There's a link. You push that, and it'll give you contact to my direct link to my Discord channel. You can join up there, where there's a few freebies and there's a lot of stuff going on there usually. But if you join up on my Discord, I'm going to be doing a book club reading of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Which is actually like one of my favorite like haunting reads. So I'm going to be doing that over the October season, and I'm going to be doing kind of like a live read along for that. I have a few other things going, just like watch movies with me, or focusing on kind of like creepy reads on my Instagram and stuff. So yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. I keep forgetting like all this stuff, but for right now, I wanted to do a live reading of The Ghost on the Rooftop. So it might take a while. Like I said, it's 3,000 words. So hang out if you want to. Otherwise, you can always come back and listen to it later and have kind of like a free audiobook. Not professional at all. Not claiming anything here, but it should be good fun to read. So I'm probably going to have to be sipping on my seltzer water a little bit here. Okay, so let's jump into this and hope it does not go too badly. I'm used to reading to children, a children's book. So hopefully it'll work out fine. So here we go. The Ghost on the Rooftop. Kyle wiggled his bottom on the carpeted steps and pressed his ear to the door of the basement. Below him, Tyler imitated the sound of crashing cars in the furnished room, sending matchboxes across the carpeted floor. Suppressing a growl of frustration, Kyle tried to ignore the sounds of his little brother playing. I don't know what I'm supposed to tell Matt. You know, he came home to get rest. He doesn't have a long time before he ships out again, and he has a lot to deal with. Silence hung in the air for a moment. If only Kyle could hear what his mom's friend was saying on the other side of the phone. Pfft. Tyler careened through the basement, bouncing off the pleather couch. Yes, expelled. This is the second time. He's only 9. Kyle studied the wood grain on the door. It wasn't his fault. Jordan was making fun of his red hair and freckles. He was a bully. Dad killed bullies. All that he'd done was sock the kid in the face. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with him. Something wrong. Kyle rubbed his knuckles. Mom said that kind of stuff a lot. What is wrong with you? Or what were you thinking? Always in a half yell, like he was deaf. I don't know. I mean, it sounds cruel to say it out loud, but a few weeks back, one of my friend's sons was diagnosed with some sort of sensory something, and that's not Kyle, but I was thinking about it. I mean, what if this whole time I've been disciplining him and he can't help himself? What was that supposed to mean? Tyler paused at the bottom of the steps. Kyle, my truck's wheels came off. Will you show me how to fix it? He held the skinny dumbbell-shaped car part. Kyle gave Tyler his best angry eyes, like Dad did when they interrupted his TV time. Mom's voice came back through the door. I don't even know. Like some kind of empathy disorder or something that would explain why he's so angry all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I yelled too much, and that's why he can't control his own temper. Kyle dug his toe into the carpet and scowled at the line of light peeking out from under the door. Kyle! Tyler stretched the name into multiple warbling syllables and rocked on his feet. Why are you ignoring me? I'm bored. Can you play car chase with me? He started to make his way up the stairwell. Kyle motioned for him to go away. If he came up here and made noise, Mom would know that Kyle was behind the door. Go away, Kyle whispered as loud as he dared. Maybe Tyler's 6-year-old brain was just too stupid to understand basic instructions, or maybe he just didn't care whether Kyle got in trouble or not. He hopped up the last few steps and held out a matchbox car. You can be the black police car. I won't even ask you to share it. The floorboard by the door squeaked, and Kyle caught his breath. The light under the door flickered as Mom's feet passed by. If you play cars with me, I'll let you have my turn on the PlayStation tomorrow, Tyler continued. Shut up. Tyler didn't bother whispering this time. It was too late. Carrie, hold on. Mom's voice was right next to the door. The only thing to do now would be to get down the stairs as fast as possible. Maybe she would believe him if he managed to lie well enough. Get out of the way! Kyle stood up and tried to squeeze around Tyler, whose brow knit into a worried look under his wild red hair. Stop yelling at me, I don't like it. The knob turned. Move! Kyle shoved Tyler, and instantly his heart turned to lead. Tyler's face opened up in wild fear as his hands slapped the walls on either side. A brief whimper slipped from his lips before he fell down the stairs. Before he even hit the bottom, the door flew open. Kyle couldn't turn to look yet, partially because the idea of seeing the anger on Mom's face was almost debilitating, partially because of the train wreck unfolding in the other direction. Tyler skidded onto the floor in a rapid succession of thumps. He stayed silent for a few beats, his eyes locked on Kyle, mouth open wide, before a scream wrenched free. Kyle, what the hell? Mom's fingers pressed into his arm as she pulled him out of the stairwell and shoved him aside. You could have killed him. Did you even think about that? Did you even care? She rushed down the stairs as Tyler continued crying, his voice sounding strangled and weak. Mom carefully checked him over before pulling him close and rocking him like one might an infant. The look she shot back up the stairwell should have peeled the skin right off him. Kyle stuck his fists in his pocket and struggled to control his breathing and the pinpricks exploding behind his eyes. What if he'd really hurt Tyler? What if he needed to go to the hospital or something? Mom settled Tyler in a sitting position and looked back up at him, her face a thunderstorm. Kyle? Why had he done that? It seems so stupid now. Sure, he'd avoided getting in trouble for spying. Now he was in trouble for something much worse. And Tyler, Kyle gulped down a knot in his throat, blocking any attempt at explanation. Finally, the words exploded from his mouth like a snapping rubber band. It's not my fault. He was a stupid shithead and can't take no for an answer. He slammed his fist into the door to punctuate his point, and Mom jumped slightly. He just kept... No. You know what? Go to your room. I just can't deal with you right now. But he wanted to see if Tyler was all right. Kyle stood at the stairwell for a moment more, as Tyler's screams fluctuated before he spun on his heels and ran through the kitchen. His sweaty feet clung to the tile floor as he grabbed the banister and mounted the steps, 2 at a time. Mom hated him. She thought he was broken, and wasn't he? What if Tyler was really badly hurt and he couldn't even say sorry? The name he'd sped out had left a nasty taste in his mouth, and it seemed to be spreading, growing like the black mold Dad had once shown him in the bathroom, creeping up his skull and into his brain, down his spine and into his lungs and his heart until it filled him. Dirty. He was dirty and disgusting. Tyler was the son they wanted. He was the good boy who never made Mom cry, who said, yes, sir, and no, ma'am, when Tyler couldn't slow his brain down long enough to remember what polite was. Tyler had never set the carpet on fire to kill the monsters under his bed, or overflowed the bathtub to drown a spider who'd built its web between him and the door. Tyler didn't get skipped by old women or glared at by teachers. And Kyle had nearly killed Tyler. Mom and Dad would have been stuck with just him. He should make it easier for them. The door shuddered as Kyle slammed it before stomping over to his closet. He broke one of the slats on the folding door as he yanked it open and started dragging out junk. A couple of baseball bats and his old football helmet from Mom and Dad's attempt to put his energy somewhere useful. Dirty clothes that he'd hidden in the back of the closet when he was supposed to clean his room. A few airsoft guns he'd stolen from his friend's older brother. He grabbed one of them and his backpack, still heavy with books from the end of the school year. He would need food and clean clothes, maybe some cash. He couldn't get those things now. Mom was down there, and if he waited in the room, he would have to listen to a speech from her. Then Dad would come home and he would be really disappointed. His blue eyes would turn gray and his lips would tug down, and he would get that deep, gruff voice that said he wished he had a different son. So Kyle couldn't wait in the room. He grabbed a few shirts out of the top drawer and pulled open the bottom drawer with his toes. His Swiss Army knife was on the top shelf, a gift from Dad before he'd gone overseas last time. He shoved it into his bag, among the rumpled clothes, and then shoved the bag under the bed. Now to hide. Kyle turned slowly around the room. They would look in the closet and under the bed first. He jumped over the pile of bedding he'd made on the floor when he'd woken up that morning and flipped the lock on the window. Orange streamers of late afternoon light radiated heat off the shingles as Kyle tugged the glass up and popped out the screen. He turned back just long enough to shove his feet into his sneakers and duck through the window frame. He'd climbed out on that roof a couple of times. There was no easy way down, though he considered climbing down the huge maple tree beside the living room. It was too far away, though, and the branches reaching over the roof were too thin to crawl on. It could still help to hide him. On that side of the house, Dad wouldn't see him when he pulled into the driveway, and no one could see him in the backyard because the tree was in the way. Carefully fitting the screen back in place, Kyle scrambled over the hot roofing. The shadow under the maple was actually quite cool. Ignoring the bite of the sandpaper-like texture of the shingles, Kyle lay carefully down, keeping his feet angled downward. Mom and Dad went to sleep around 10 or 11 o'clock, unless they got into an argument. Either way, it would take a while. He should have brought some comic books. Light filtered through the maple trees, turning green and yellow as it illuminated the tender veins. A raven landed on the branch and picked at something by its feet. It stared at Kyle with black marble eyes and croaked out a hoarse cry before lifting back off. Kyle watched it for a moment before turning his eyes on the setting sun. The bed squeaked. The floorboards groaned hideously. Something was scratching. Kyle tucked the blankets up around his nose and held his breath. He was too old for monsters in the dark. Too old to run to Mom and Dad and ask to hide under their blankets. That didn't make the desire to run any weaker. The instant he put his feet on the floor, though, the darkness under the bed would grow and the skeletal fingers would stretch. But maybe there was no stopping that. Something like raspy breathing reverberated under the bed, and thin, gray-skinned arms reached out. The carpet wrinkled and twisted in its grotesque fingers, and then began to turn black, like rot, inching its way across the fabric. The arms kept unraveling, heaving the creature out from the shadows below as it dragged it out of hell itself. Kyle pulled the blankets over his head and curled into as small of a ball as he could, sucking his breath into his chest until it ached. Maybe if he didn't breathe. The shadow was clear even through the comforter. It was tall, unearthly tall, somehow tucked up against the ceiling and twisted over Kyle, his arms hovering just over the blanket. Kyle squeezed his eyes shut, but he could see, no, feel it. It was still there. His chest burned, his pulse throbbing in his neck, his cheeks puffed out in an effort to hold in his breath and his fear. Finally, it burst out in a loud hiss. Tingles raced over Kyle's arms and fingers. He rolled onto his back and yanked the blanket down, ready to face the monster. But it was gone. What? He sat up, carefully studying each shadow. No, it was gone. Did it go back under the bed? He was not sure he was ready to look, but he turned his eyes down anyway. Black scorch marks radiated from the carpeting and along the floorboards. A huge, awkwardly shaped footprint dragged across the floor. Mud, like it crawled from the grave, or scorch marks, like it was hot, or mold, like it was rotting the very world with its presence. All of them and none of them, but there was a distinct smell that it left behind, wet and cold and bitter. Kyle sucked in a deep breath and let his feet hit the floor. The footprints were cool against his bare feet, making the shiver crawling up his spine that much worse. The trail led around the corner, into Mom and Dad's room. Dad's gun was on the floor, his boot laying by the door. Someone was crying. Kyle risked a glance inside. The red and blue lights flashed through the windows, making Kyle squint. There was something standing over the bed, dark against the windows. The creature, abnormally tall, bent awkwardly, reaching one hand to hold on to something in the sheets. Dad lay on the floor. His body was contorted, his eyes staring up at the ceiling, empty and glassy. "Daddy?" Kyle whispered. The creature stood up straighter, though its neck was still bent awkwardly to allow it to fit in the room. It was clear what was in his hand now. Tyler. "No!" Kyle screamed. "Get away!" Tyler whimpered, curling up in an attempt to escape the creature. A hand fell on Kyle's shoulder. Mom stood behind him, staring at the monster in the room with an odd sort of thoughtfulness on her face. "Mom, you have to save him," Kyle motioned at Tyler's shaking form. Mom nodded. "I will." She looked at Dad and back at the creature, who now leaned forward. Its white eyes filled its face, and its mouth hung open in an empty scream. Tyler shuddered as it tilted its head on the thin and broken neck. "Mom?" Mom's grip tightened on his shoulder. "It's all your fault. It came from your room. It's your monster. And now look what you did. What is wrong with you?" Kyle's stomach dropped. What did she mean? This was his fault? The monster released Tyler and reached out long arms, its spider-like fingers groping the air, reaching for Kyle. He tried to pull back, get to safety, but Mom's hand held him firm. "What is wrong with you?" she repeated. With a violent twist, she shoved Kyle forward. He couldn't scream. Those monster's arms closed around him, and its gaping mouth fell onto him, sucking him right in, and he fell. Kyle jerked awake as a sensation of falling ripped through him. He kicked back, and something under his hands rushed past. A rough surface ripped through his palms, taking skin with it. Leaves and sticks slapped his face as he hit something brittle. The gutter. He was on the roof. The thought snapped through his mind a moment too late as his toes skidded past the weak metal and out into open air. Kyle screamed, flailing his legs as he snapped his hands back. Thin branches slipped through his fingers, snapping and ripping, and something caught, and he slowed down for a second, his lower body swinging into the emptiness below. "Dad!" He scrambled to get a grip on the tiles of the rooftop. He was going to die. He was going to die like this, falling through space, landing in a crumpled heap on the ground. "Dad!" Red lights flashed overhead, illuminating the edge of the roof and the tree branches stretched overhead. "Police?" "He's back here," a voice called. Kyle risked a look down as a shadow began to trickle around the corner. Was one of them abnormally tall? No, that was just a dream. The motion sensor light on the back porch flickered on, illuminating Dad's red hair and his panicked face. "Kyle, hold on. I'm coming, buddy." He hurtled over the raised porch, his legs eating up the ground. His arms were already held out to meet Kyle. "I've got you." More men yelled and motioned, their black-blue uniforms flashing through the light, a light with badges and buttons that caught the beams. Mom wasn't far behind, and her hair streamed out behind her as she passed one of the officers. "Kyle, I'm right here." Kyle didn't dare look down at Dad's voice. It would be like looking over the edge of the earth. Dad was too far down, and he wouldn't even be able to reach Kyle. "I'm going to fall. I'm slipping." Kyle tried desperately to dig his fingers deeper into the roofing, even as it sawed at his flesh. Dad was there, but he couldn't even help. It wasn't fair. Listen to me. I'm right below you. I'm right here. Let go and I'll catch you. Kyle tried to drag himself up, but the branch under his hand snapped and he jerked downward. The gutter moaned and twisted, slicing his skin. I'm falling! Tears leaked out of Kyle's eyes, running along his cheeks and blurring the flashing lights into the night sky. Kyle, Dad's voice was firm and steady. Let go. Let go. What if Dad didn't want to save him? What if he thought he was broken too? Maybe he just wanted to let Kyle die so that they could have Tyler alone and no more trouble. Kyle choked back a sob. Listen to me. Sucking in the panic, Kyle tried to focus on Dad's voice. I love you. I wouldn't ever let anything happen to you. I wouldn't tell you to let go if I didn't know I could catch you. I'm right here. Kyle let out a shuddering breath. Now? Now, Dad replied. With a final gasp, Kyle let the branch slip through his fingers. The rooftop rolled beneath his hands, releasing him into the sky. He didn't even get a chance to scream before warmth flooded around him and Dad tucked him into his chest. It's okay, I have you. I've got you. Dad's mouth pressed up against Kyle's ear. His fingers curled around his ribs and legs. A moment later, Mom's soft floral scent penetrated the night. He's safe. You're safe. Oh, thank God you're safe. Tears, already cold, dripped onto his forehead as Mom leaned over him, entwining her arms around Dad's. You scared me so bad. She did care. Kyle shoved away from his dad as the police began pushing in on them. It wasn't over yet. Where was Tyler? Tyler? Kyle turned to look at Mom's worried face. Is he okay? I didn't hurt him, did I? He held his breath, trying to ignore the memories of the dreams still flashing in his head. Tyler had to be okay. He's fine. Your grandma is watching him. Why? Mom glanced at Dad. We were looking for you, Kyle. We were scared. Kyle looked around the rings of stern faces around him, the policemen staring in at him, Dad, his brow knit with worry, Mom, her hair sticking to her cheeks from tears. Can we go get him? Dad shook his head. What's the hurry? Kyle shook his head. Ducked his head. I have to say sorry. Dad nodded. Of course we can. Don't worry. We have time. What were you doing up there? Mom asked suddenly. Kyle glanced up at the roof, shuddering at the image that flashed in his mind. A tall, bent figure dark against the flashing lights. But he wasn't there. He wasn't real. Mom and Dad were, and their arms around him were. Tyler was real, waiting somewhere for his big brother to make things right. And their family was real, even if part of it was a little broken. Was having a bad dream. Kyle grabbed Dad's hand. But I'm okay now. The end. So I missed a lot of comments, but I feel like Abigail got the best of it right there. She said, ugh, this poor kid. Yes. So I am quite horrible to my characters. But yeah, as a nanny, I've worked with a lot of kids who feel really guilty even when they mess things up. And so this story came really easily to me. But yeah, that is it. I would take questions, but this has already gone pretty long. And I want to leave you guys to your night and drink something because my throat's getting a little bit sore. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you, Abigail, for all the comments. I didn't get a chance to look back and see what else was on there, but make sure to leave your comments. Let me know which one is your favorite of the book covers, and let me know what you thought of the story. I'd love to hear from you. And make sure to be keeping an eye on my social media for all the freebies and the releases and the contests and all that good stuff. I really look forward to celebrating this with you guys. So have a good night. Bye.